Okay, very good afternoon, everyone. So we'll be starting a session now. So I'll just give a little introduction. I am Cheng Su. I'm actually based in Malaysia. So Oxford University Press, we are present in Malaysia and we support a few different countries. So we are supporting Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore from Malaysia. So we also have amongst us our colleagues who are actually based in Indonesia. So I think Dara is probably with us as one of the audience today. So before we begin, I'll just give a little introduction. Okay. So today's session is actually on secondary science. We call it Opening Minds to an Amazing World. I believe most of the teachers here today would have been using or are using or will be using our amazing science resources. So we have with us Marianna Magdalena, who will be going through with us what are the resources that you can use to aid your teaching in the classroom. So before I pass the time to her, I would like to just talk about the protocol for today. So at the end of the session, you will receive an e-certificate for this participation. So you will receive an e-certificate, and the e-certificate will be issued to your email address, which you have used to register for this training. And also to let you know, this training is actually recorded. At the bottom of the panel, on your screen, you will actually see a bar. So at this bar, you will see Q&A. So Q&A, please, you can actually post your questions to our speaker as well as to us via the Q&A section. So there's also a poll section, which I believe our speaker today will not be using. However, we will also have a chat session, which I think some of you have already been writing on the chat box. So continue to write your views, share your thoughts on the chat box. So basically, feel free to use Bahasa Indonesia if you prefer that. So we will also allow Q&A. So if you would also like to voice or share your opinion, we will actually open up the last section where we will allow people to just raise hands, and then we will allow you to speak up to the entire audience here. Okay, so a little bit about our speaker. Ms. Marianna Magdalena. So she has over 20 years of teaching in primary as well as middle and high school physics using the Indonesian curriculum and international curriculum. So I think we have been working very closely with Ms. Marianna when we first started our research on what are the needs that the teachers in Indonesia have pertaining to the international as well as local curriculum. And thus we came up with the amazing science that actually marries both curriculum, and we actually have these resources whereby we allow teachers to use the resources more effectively where you have both as a dual curriculum resource. So Ms. Marianna today, she will be running through with us. Other than the books that we have, there are a lot more resources available online, as well as the teaching pedagogy behind our science resources. So she's also the reviewer of the 2030 National Indonesian Curriculum. In fact, she's also working very closely with the ministry right now as they are reviewing some of the syllabuses in view of the COVID-19 situation. So I'll pass the time now over to Ms. Marianna, so she'll take us from here. So over to you, Ms. Marianna.
Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, teachers. Thank you for attending this session. So I'm gonna start the session. Okay. So we will explore the resources, scientific inquiry. We map the curriculum because, as we know, the resources mix to curricula Indonesian curricula and a curriculum and the other curriculum. And then also about using graphics organizer to organize concepts or ideas. And then some examples of hands-on practical activities, but we will not do the hands-on and practical activities in this webinar. And then the last one is how to use multimedia to enhance learning. Yeah. Okay. These are the resources that we will explore. Okay, the agenda is this, yeah. We talk about role of learning science, scientific inquiry, graphic organizers, mapping the curriculum, and the most important thing is how to practice all this stuff in your classroom. And then also a Q&A and wrap up time. Okay. Great opportunity during pandemic for all of us. It's a very good quotation from Thomas Alva Edison, the scientist with who had a very high spirit, yeah, really hard worker also. We often miss opportunity because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. So actually during this pandemic, we have great opportunity. I will share my own experience about great opportunity. So I have already made 20 videos in the first 3 months since pandemic using free apps. I have a channel, a YouTube channel. And then the videos are about learning models, primary science and literacy, and secondary science. So for me, this is a great opportunity. I was not quite good in technology, especially in using apps, but the pandemic made me able to use some apps. Yeah. And then the other great opportunity, I'm now teaching physics for grade 7, 10, and 11 regularly in this semester. I cannot do this last time because I was so busy with the training, going from one place to another place. Now I have made commitment that I will teach physics for grade 7. And then last week was the first day to meet the students in Pekanbaru and Timika. And guess what? They were very happy studying science, especially physics. And then they can hardly wait for another session in this week. So I'm very enthusiastic to teach the students during this distance class. Why? Because I can explore many things. I can read many things. I can watch the video also, so many videos that help me to prepare the materials for teaching. Okay, so for me, this is a great opportunity. How about you? Do you feel or do you think that pandemic is a great opportunity for you? Okay. One of you will to say something in the chat box. Is this a great opportunity for you during this pandemic? Okay, let me see. Oh, wait. Ibu Chingse, can you help me with the chat?
So yes, so we have actually everyone says yes, they feel the same. Yes, everyone says they feel the same.
Okay, thank you. So we experience the same thing. Great. Okay, why? Because the first thing is technology does not replace the teacher, but it can enhance learning. Yeah, we are still teachers. We are irreplaceable. Yeah, we cannot be replaced by technology. And then the second, learning becomes more personalized. Why? Because students can control their own learning. And then students can seek more information for they have more time because they need to stay at home. They can learn about COVID-19, about the technology, about the digital platform. It's time for the students to make use for what they have now, because they cannot go anywhere. They have to stay at home. And it depends on us, the teachers, how we guide them and direct them to have high interest in learning science. And then this is another important thing, is that we are more creative and flexible to design the lesson, yeah, because we don't need to cover all base competencies, KD, yeah, we don't need to cover all KD, so we can pick what will be good for the students, yeah. Okay, this is my opinion about the lesson and the curriculum. And then also during this time, because they can control their own learning, then we can make them more responsible for their learning process. This is very important, to be responsible for the learning process. Yeah, if we can make the students responsible for their learning process, that's really, really good. The second thing from the self-directed learning, I think this is quite high, yeah, for the students, but this is our goal, make responsible for their learning process. Okay, now, what is the role of learning science? What do we need now? We have to stay at home. We have to keep social distance with others. We cannot meet each other. And then it seems that so hard for us, their life is so hard. The economy is also so hard for majority of the people, yeah? So what do we need now? We need vaccine, because there is another way to solve this pandemic problem, yeah? So if we learn about vaccine, then we can learn more, because Edward Jenner has found the vaccine for the first time, yeah? And then it is related to how science works. Okay, then this is from Way Forum. How soon will a vaccine be ready? It said that the fastest a vaccine has ever been made is 5 years. Okay, but now they want to make it in 2 years, minimum 18 months. So we expect that next year, in the middle of the year, we can have the vaccine. That's the expectation. Actually, it should be 5 years, but the process is accelerating. Okay, see, science is, people wait for the science to help them to solve this world problem, yeah? That's why OECD is an organization that conducts Pisa, yeah? From his presentation, it said that what is science in Pisa actually? The ability to engage with science-related issues. What are the science issues now? And with the ideas of science as a reflective citizen. So always the goal is how science can contribute to this world. There is a lot of problems in this world. Even for the student, they have also a lot of problems and can be related to science. Yeah. So this is the point of learning science. It's not just memorizing the parts of a plant, not memorizing human body, not memorizing conductors and insulator, but it's more than that. It's to solve the problems, their own problems and the others' problem. So if they can implement science to solve their own problem, then they have already achieved the goal of learning science. Okay, at least they can use science to solve their own problems, at least. And then if they want to develop, then they can answer the problems of their surrounding. Okay, this is a very simple scientific inquiry. Actually, this is from video. I took it from video. So from KHQ teams, yeah. It just want to show that wearing masks really reduce the spread of COVID virus, or we said SARS CoV-2, yeah, CoV virus. So this man made 4 activities: talking, singing, coughing, and sneezing, yeah. So 4 activities, and then 2 different situations: wearing a mask and does not wear a mask, yeah. And then what was the result? After 24 hours, the number of bacteria represented by yellow dots can be compared. So for coughing, can you see a lot of yellow dots, plenty of yellow dots here? This is the result of the man when he did not wear the mask. And this is when he wear a mask. Okay, this is coughing. And this is sneezing. Can you see? Yeah, there is a huge difference between wearing mask and not wearing a mask. Okay, and then also from this result, we can see that sneezing and coughing is different. Sneezing can spread the virus more than coughing. Okay, because the droplets from the mouth can contain bacteria and virus. Yeah. So that's why we need to wear a mask. Okay. Another is by seeing how social distance affects the spread of the virus. 2 feet away and 6 feet away. Also wearing a mask and not wearing a mask, and you can see the difference. If you stand further away from the sick people, then the spread will be less. Yeah, you cannot get the virus. Yeah, 6 feet away and 2 feet away. So these investigations are simple, but we need this investigation in time of pandemic. Yeah, we don't need any sophisticated technology, but only with this simple investigation. Yeah. So that's the role of learning science. Okay, and then I highlight here, once again, what does the test of science Pisa measure? Yeah, explain phenomena scientifically, evaluate and design scientific inquiry, and interpret data and evidence scientifically. So these are these things that the test measure. Okay. Then these are the science process skills that they are familiar with and foresee. Yeah. These things should be in our science lesson, even though we are doing now distance learning. But still we have to give more attention for these things, because that's the heart of learning science. Okay, this is an example of Pisa question. Yeah, the Grand Canyon is located in a desert in the USA. It is a very large and deep canyon containing many layers of rock. Sometime in the past, movements in the Earth's crust lifted these layers up. The Grand Canyon is now 1.6 kilometers deep in parts. The Colorado River runs through the bottom of the canyon. See the picture below of the Grand Canyon taken from its limestone shale, schist, and granite. Okay, and then south rim, several different layers of rock can be seen in the walls of the canyon. And this is the question. About 5 million people visit the Grand Canyon National Park every year. There is concern about the damage that is being caused to the park by so many visitors. Can the following question be answered by the scientific investigation? Circle yes or no for each question. Okay, there are two questions. You have to choose yes or no. Okay. So is this a scientific investigation or not? How much erosion is caused by use of the walking tracks? Yes or no? So you can give your answer now. Yeah, can be in the chat box. So is this question, how much erosion is caused by use the walking tracks? Yes or no? What do you think? Is this a scientific investigation or not? Is there any in the chat box? Yes or no? Okay. And then the second question is the park area as beautiful as it was 100 years ago? Okay. Actually, you can download the questions from the Google. Just type Pisa test questions, then you can find it. Okay. So this is about scientific investigation. So in order to answer this question, we need to know the characteristic of scientific investigation. So if the students do not know the characteristic of scientific investigation, then they don't know how to answer this question. Okay, so let's look further. Okay. So in scientific inquiry, we are planning a safe test and a fair test. This is a requirement, safe and fair test. What does a fair test mean? Yeah. So if you are familiar with scientific inquiry, if you frequently implement scientific inquiry in your lesson, let's say before pandemic, then you really know how to make the investigation. Okay. A fair test, what does a fair test mean? So we have to design a hypothesis, and then in order to prove our hypothesis, we make the experiment. And then the experiment always consists of independent variables, dependent variables, and control variables. So hypothesis, independent variables, dependent variables, and control variables. Independent variables mean variables that you change. Dependent variables mean variable that you measure or observe. And control variables mean variable that keep the same. So for doing scientific inquiry, you just have one question or one hypothesis. Yeah, that's the point, only one hypothesis. Because if you have more than one hypothesis, it's hard for you to design the experiment also. Okay, let's look at this part of the resource, yeah? This is about artificial coloring of materials, okay? See, you can color materials using artificial dyes. As shown in this practical, you would need a wool yarn, food dye, and colored syrup from your household items. Prepare 2 lengths of wool yarn, each of about 30 up to 40 centimeters. Boil the 2 lengths of wool yarn separately in solution of food dye and colored syrups in 2 beakers. Add about 1 centimeter cube of kitchen vinegar acid into each of the 2 solutions. After about 10 minutes, remove the wool yarns and wash with water for a few times until the color of water appears clear. Is this a scientific inquiry or not? Yeah. The question is record the colors of the wool yarn in a suitable table. What can be concluded from the experiment? So you have 2 different color, yeah, coloring, artificial coloring, food dye and colored syrup. And then what will be the dependent variable? And what are the control variables here? Okay, this is actually an example of scientific inquiry because there are independent variables, dependent variables, and control variables. And there is a lot of scientific inquiry examples. There's a lot of examples of scientific inquiry in the resources. And then according to Pisa or OECD, scientific inquiry is also the heart of science. So make sure that we implement this thing in the lesson. Yeah. The next is a simple speed investigation. Okay. Then, okay, this is the question, yeah, because this is quite long. Investigate if the steepness of the slope has an effect on the average speed. So this is also a scientific inquiry because you have to change the steepness, and that is related to the average speed. This is a simple speed investigation, and I think students can do it at home for this investigation. Yeah, why? Because you just need an object or a small car toy, and then if they don't have the RAM, then they can use the book. They can replace it with other item to make the RAM. Yeah, so they can do this at home during pandemic. Now, but now this is another activity, also a science activity. So let's run two more. This is scientific inquiry. This is about scientific inquiry. This is about scientific inquiry because there are things that you change, then there are things that you keep the same. But how about this? How to make it into scientific inquiry? Yeah, because if you see here, yeah, this is investigating water transport, yeah, and then you just observe what has happened. Is there anything that you change here? Yeah, only the color, but actually it doesn't affect, yeah, the color. It is just showing the colors, yeah, the different color. Okay, okay. Now, how to make it into scientific inquiry? This is very interesting. This is actually about biology, about plants, but related closely to physics. So you see, you can have one investigation, and at the same time, they learn about physics and biology. Then how to learn physics more about this topic, yeah, about this investigation, about this, activity. Then here, scientific, we can make it, let's look at these images. You see, the smaller the diameter of the tube, then the high the rise of the water. Yeah, can you see that? Then you can expand this investigation into critical questions. I mean, critical thinking. You can stimulate the kids to think more critically about the diameter of the plants. So one activity can lead to many amazing things. One activity can lead to integration of two different subjects, physics and biology. One activity can lead to developing more examples of the nature. Yeah, this is just one example, simple example. And also they can do it at home here, yeah, because it's very simple. So the points are, or the point is, the students need to stay at home. So they have to make use of the items that they have at home. So if they can do it, then they do it. If they cannot do the scientific inquiry, then they just planning the investigation. They just planning. So it means that they cannot record the result, but that's fine. So make sure that a scientific inquiry is the way of learning science during this pandemic, because that's the heart of learning science. Yeah. Okay. This is about scientific inquiry. And then once again, I emphasize that there is a lot of scientific inquiry activities in the resources. Yeah. Okay. Now, learning, and learning. Learning is a treasure that will follow its owner everywhere. So the student do not learn the history of science. Do not just memorize the facts of science, but the goal is how they implement the science into their life. The way scientists thinking, the way scientists do, it's not about the content. It's about the way they think. It's about the way they do. Yeah, and in this what you call Industrial Revolution 4.0, that's a need for the kids to have this kind of thinking. Okay. Okay, now the next is about graphic organizers. Yeah, this is a communication tool that uses visual symbols to represent idea and concepts in order to convey meaning. Okay, it's a way for visual thinking to occur. It is used to show relationship between fact, terms, and idea within a learning text. You can Google it, yeah, graphic organizers, and you can see a lot of examples. Examples are Venn diagram, concept map, and hierarchy chart. Okay, these are examples. This is from creately.com. Eventually, you can edit it. There are many templates, and you can edit it. This is the hierarchy chart. Yeah, you start from the top, and then going to the bottom. Yeah. Another example is T chart. Topic 1, topic 2. You can do. Let's say you talk this about here conductors and here insulators. So you can do a lot with T chart. Yeah, these are just examples. And then problem solving. Yeah, okay, this is good. What is the problem? Why is this a problem? What are the possible solutions? Pros and cons. You have, let's say, 3 solutions, and then what are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? Yeah, I hope that you can stimulate the kids, yeah, with problem solving. And then here, yeah, okay, and then okay here, yeah, what that? I cannot read it. And then you have the possible consequences, yeah, of the solution, and this the last one, yeah. Okay, this is from creately.com. Yeah, you can edit it, the template. Okay, now this is another example of sample of Pisa. Why do I put samples of Pisa? It's about assessment competency minimum, the assessment of minimum competency. What does it look like? Because AKM, assessment competency minimum, AKM will replace national exam. It will start in the next year. Yeah. So types of questions that will be asked in the AKM, types of Pisa questions. Yeah, types of Pisa questions. Once again, you can Google it from, you can Google this, and then you can learn types of questions. Okay, these are types of questions. Yeah. Okay. These are types of questions. Okay. Okay, this is in the resource. Actually, there are also many assessments that reflect assessment competency minimum. Yeah, you can pick it up, or if you can, or they inspire you. The examples inspire you to make new ones, new assessments by learning types of assessment in the resources. This is the logic of filtration. Yeah, student book topics 7.8 and 7.9. Okay, and then also these types of questions. Yeah, okay, these types of questions. Can you see? I'm very interested with this question. Why is applying pressure the best method to stop bleeding till medical help arrives? Yeah, I have to like this. so the bleeding will stop. So it makes students think. And this is actually daily life, yeah, daily life. So they know once they their finger get bleeding, then the way to stop it is by applying pressure to the finger. So it means that students implement science to solve their problems. So in the resources, there is a lot of questions like this, yeah. And then the next is they know the answer, but they have to think, how does applying pressure help in the blood clotting mechanism? So they have to think, even though they know the solution, but they have to think, why does it work? How does it work? Okay. Now, we map the curriculum. Yeah, we map the curriculum. This is for grade 7. Yeah, this is for grade 7. So we have actually totally, for grade 7, totally 1, 2, 11 KD. Yeah, base competencies, yeah, 11. So this is really very, very packed, yeah. I mean, a lot of KD, yeah, base competencies. Okay, can you see 11? So I think in this pandemic era, you don't need to cover all these 11, yeah. But we can make a combination of KD or base competencies to cover the material. Yeah, we can do that actually, yeah. Because as you know, the resources is a mixture of 2 different curricula. So don't think it as separately. So when you deal with the resources and it has 2 different curricula, don't think it separately. It is not separated because why? It's about science. It's about the content of science. It's about the principles of science. It's about the concepts of science. So it is not separated actually. It's a whole, it is one. Yeah. So for this grade 7, I give you an example. Yeah. Classification of living things is from 3.2. Yeah. The red text, yeah, red one means in the national curriculum. But the microorganism and disease means in the other curriculum. Yeah. So how to combine them? It's the way how we arrange the order of the knowledge, the order of the content. And I think this will be very excited for you because you have to, it's just like make a puzzle. Yeah. You have to put one to another and then make a good puzzle. Yeah. Okay. So I combine these two KD and one from other curriculum. Okay, it means there are three KD, yeah. Okay. So now, because let's say we start with the synchronous online learning. Remember, we are gonna combine 3, yeah, 3 KD, yeah, base competencies. So start with synchronous online learning. This is actually from the teacher's guide, yeah. Look around where they are. So we have to know that even though you teach, I mean, synchronous online learning, it's about using gadget, using computers, but you have to mix the activities. Students look at the screen and then students do something. That's what I did last week. I combine looking at the screen, I'm asking them questions, and then I ask them to do some physical activities, the simplest ones, yeah? So you can ask them, look around where you are. So they can look through the window, probably they can walk to the garden if it's quite close with their place, yeah, where they learn, yeah? Okay, look around where they are, and then ask them to explore their surrounding. Ask them to make a list of living things and non-living things. And this is the way to make the graphic organizer. Yeah, list of living things and non-living things. Okay, they put here, they have to write it down. I suggest if it is possible, let them write down, make the table in their book, yeah, in their book. So not just only typing and typing, because they have to do some physical activities also, yeah. I mean manual, yeah, not always digital, yeah. So you can ask them to write down in their books here, living things and non-living things. And they write it down, and then you can have a class discussion using Jamboard, using chatboard, or using other tool. And then, so you finish, you're done with this two items, living things and non-living things, right? Okay, at the same time, let's say, assume that you have 1 hour class, or maybe more than 1 hour, but let's say 1 hour, then you can do another activity. You show them the image or video from YouTube. Okay, it's about characteristic of living things, yeah. And I suggest that the video that you take, it lasts only 2 or up to 6 minutes. Don't too long, yeah. Okay, so why I put this, I found this video. This is a good video for me, yeah. Because besides telling about the characteristic of living things, it also explains about cells and different levels of organization. So you see, in one lesson, you can also put this. Probably you don't need to explain it further to the students, but at least they know there is cell, tissue, organ, and system of organ. This is just an example. You see, the title is 7 characteristics of life, but in this video, there is different levels of organization. So then when you try to find out the video, make sure you know the content of the video, and then you have also to do check and recheck, because sometimes the videos, the content are not really good, yeah. Maybe it's not according to the science concept, yeah. So make sure the videos follow the science concepts, the true science concepts, yeah. This is an example, yeah, learn from video, okay. You can learn from for yourself for this video, because this is quite long, I think around 10 minutes, yeah. This is for you, or then you can develop it in your lesson, but you can show them this video, because this is quite short, yeah, around 3 minutes. So you just find out. Well, it takes time to find the videos. You have to check it one by one, the videos, yeah. But there are some good videos, yeah. So you show it this to the students, the characteristics of living things, okay. Then you are done with the characteristic of living things, yeah. And then now you have still have time. Then you talk about cells, and then you show them the similarities and differences of cell of plants and cell of animals. Yeah, can you see the order? Yeah, the order of this lesson, starting from living things and non-living things. Okay, then characteristics of living things. But in the video, it's already talking about cell, yeah, cell. Then you go further with this, cell of plants and cell of animals. Okay, because we really have to make use of the synchronous online learning. It's not long, yeah, so you have to make it meaningful and what you say, packed like that, yeah. But still, there is a space for students to understand. Okay, then next, then what will be their task after learning about living things and non-living things, and then probably you tell just for short about cell, tissue, organs, and system of organs, and then this is the video that you show it to the students, and then cells of plant, cells of animals, then done for that day, for one, let's say one meeting, yeah. And then what will be their further tasks? Okay, because we want to compress it, then you can ask them to read about pasteurization in the student book, And in the teacher's guide also you have that that part, yeah. Why reading about the pasteurization? Because it will lead to learn bacteria and virus, yeah. So can you see that? So in short time you can cover many things, yeah. You can cover animals, plants, even though not special, but at least they have the whole picture. Then you ask them to read about the pasteurization. And then why virus? Because virus is also part of the source, yeah. And then especially virus is the focus now because of the SARS-CoV-2, yeah. Okay, this is during asynchronous learning, so you can communicate with the students using Google Classroom. Okay, then this is the video during synchronous online learning, yeah. Then you can show you can show this video to them comparing bacteria virus. I think this is a good video because it's really clear about the difference between bacteria and virus. You see, this is actually in 2012, but it's already spiked, yeah. The virus have already the spikes, and also in this video it is about washing the hands, yeah, and so on. This is a good video. Okay, then you ask them to compare bacteria and virus. Then they can look at their workbook, page 20, yeah, virus versus bacteria. Yeah, they can look at their workbook, page 20. This is a Venn diagram of virus versus bacteria. Okay. Then, okay, because it's also information about virus here, but it's not so specific. Then find another video about SARS-CoV-2 virus. You can choose it. Make sure that it's only about 2 minutes, not so long, yeah? Okay. Then after finish with virus, then you can ask question, are bacteria always harmful for the people? No, yeah, but virus is always harmful for the people. This is not the time to introduce virus to them because this is part of their life. We are all struggling with COVID-2, yeah, COVID-2 virus, yeah. So it's a good time to introduce. Then you go further with the microorganism, food production, decomposition, disease in animals and plants, and this is in the resource, yeah. Then after that, after introducing bacteria, virus, yeah, and then also the benefits of using bacteria, very interesting to study about bacteria, yeah, where they live. That's very interesting. You can develop your lesson, yeah. So once again, it's not about the content of science, it's about how scientists think, how scientists do, yeah. How do you manage the information? That's what we want from the students. How they take the meaning of their information, yeah. How they use the information for their own thinking. Okay. Then why I put it here? Virologists are today's universal necessities. This interview is actually in 2017, and we are now in 2020, and then we face the virus spread, yeah. This is infection control, yeah. And this is, it is said that, I have a reason to put it here. It's part of education. Virology as an independent discipline is not necessarily in the public eye. So probably in the past, not so many people are interested in learning about virus. And also the students probably not so many of them want to study further about the virus. So after they graduate from the high school, then they want to be probably doctors, physicians. But if you make a survey, I think that it will be really few students want to study about virus. So this is the time for us to introduce them many branches of science that really need them in the future. So we see now we face COVID-19, and then in bahasa kelimpungan, yeah, we get messed out and so on, yeah, confused and so on. But if we can educate our students to see the need of the world, then we will have a better world in the future through our students or our kids. Yeah. Okay. This is yeah. Okay. And then after you, I do not continue this because I have another example. Yeah, I have another example for this. So after you continue with the microorganism, then you are done with chapter 2. Yeah, chapter 2. Then you go further with the characteristics of other living things. Yeah, of let's say animals and plants. Yeah, then you know how to do that. Yeah. So this is just to introduce how to cover the material as many as you can, but it should be meaningful and it should be systematic. So the students can follow the idea and the thinking. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is another example of grade 7. Yeah, grade 7. So these 3 KD based competency, you can combine actually about interaction, living things and their environment, yeah, and the dynamics of population because of the interaction. But these 2 also about the effect of pollution to the ecosystem, and also this about the effect of climate change to the ecosystem. These 3 are very, very interesting topics because it's relevant to our life. This is what we face now, the climate change, the pollution. And then also you combine these 3 and then you can find them in the habitats and environment. Yeah, you can find that. And it has many lessons for the students, how to take care of the environment, how to take care of the earth. So we really have the goals for them if they learn science. Not only deliver the content, that's not the point. Not only deliver the content, but how they think and they do, and then how they solve the problem. That's for their future, to have a better world, a better environment. Okay. Okay, this is for grade A later. Okay. So any question from grade 7 teachers before I go further? Any question? Yeah. Okay, any question? Okay. Now, well, usually when students learn about, usually when students learn about respiratory system, then the organs that involve in the respiratory system, starting with, let's say, inhaling and the organs and blah, 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 blah. Usually that's the way they learn about the respiratory system. But now we change the way they learn. So the hook is really important. The hook is how you start your lesson. How you start your lesson. So they want to study about the respiratory system, but how you start your lesson. Yeah, this is another modification. Yeah, still using the resource, but you can also try to modify the introduction, I mean, yeah, because there is a lot of resources. The resources is really rich. You can start from any point that you think it will be interesting for the students. I try with this for the respiratory system, shortness of breath. Why? Because this is now the issue. Many people die of the shortness of the breath, and that is because of the COVID-19, yeah, because of this virus. SARS-CoV-2 virus. Then we can start with the question. So, list the diseases that cause shortness of breath. Because not only COVID-19 causes shortness of breath, yeah, because I think the students already know the symptoms of COVID-19, fever, cough, and then shortness of breath, yeah. Okay, So you can ask with the shortness of breath. The diseases that cause shortness of breath. Yeah. And then I show you two. This is asthma, and this is COVID-19. Yeah. Both of them cause shortness of breath, but in different way. Yeah. I mean, the way the patients feel the shortness of breath is different mechanism. Yeah. Can you see this? This is for asthma. This is the open airway, but this is the narrow airway. Okay. This is the lung. Yeah. But for COVID-19, you see almost filled with the fluid, yeah, or with the substance, yeah, that makes patient difficult to breathe, yeah. So by showing these two, then you can start to explain the organs of respiratory system. Okay, I like also this is the picture, yeah. This is from Mayo Clinic, yeah. This one, can you see this, yeah? Yeah, this one. Yeah, this is the normal of air sacs. This is because of the virus. Yeah. Okay, then they see the organs of respiratory system, the lung, but in the lung there are other things. Yeah, in the lungs. Then we can start. They can start learning about the lung and what are inside the lung. Okay, and then why cough? Why do they cough when they are sick? Yeah, it's about COVID cough. Why do they people cough? Then you can also tell them about the other respiratory organs. Yeah, okay. So I think very interesting, yeah, of the resource, yeah. So many things can be explored, yeah. Okay, once again, you can start with the lung or you can start with the cough. Yeah, what has happened? What has happened? Why did the patient cough? And then see here, the respiratory system. Okay. Now, that's about the grade 8, yeah, of biology, about the hook, yeah, introduction. Then another, yes?
There's a question when someone asks whether if you have some tips to explain about investigation variables, because sometimes it's hard for students to determine variables in experiment. Will you be able to answer that?
Okay. Then can I return to, can I go back to the previous, yeah? Okay, thank you for the question. Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah, okay, invited. Okay, let's say this, yeah, we have, okay, we have two woolians, yeah, we have two woolians, and then two different substances, yeah, food dye and colored syrup, yeah. Then when you put the woolians into these two substances in the separate beakers, yeah, you put them, then this one, yeah, boil the two lengths of bouillon separately in solution of food dye and colored syrup in two beakers. It means you have two different substances, yeah, two different substances. That is the independent variable because two different things, yeah. Okay, the independent variable. And then what do you keep the same? You should have the same size of two beakers. Yeah, you have, and then the same volume of the two substances. Yeah, okay, same materials of two beakers, and then also same volume of these two substances. Yeah, that's the control variable. And then you add the same kitchen vinegar acid. This is also the control variable because you have the same volume. And then after about 10 minutes, you remove the woolians and wash with water for a few times. And then also this is the control variable. You need to do the same, okay? If you wash water, let's say you wash it 5 times for the food dye, then you do the same for the colored syrup. That's the control variable. You do the same thing. Only one thing that is different, that is the substance itself. But the way you treat them should be the same. That is the control variable. Then until the color of waters appears clear. Yeah, until the color of waters appears clear. Okay, and then you record the colors of the booleans in a suitable table. And then you see, do they have, which substance makes the color, more color disappear, yeah, what we call, yeah, the intense of the color disappear, or whatever. Then you know, well, whether food dye or colored syrup has more artificial coloring. Yeah, that is the way to do scientific inquiry. Yeah, okay, let's say for this problem, our problem, yeah. Okay, the problem is the problem is that the damage that is being caused of the to the park by so many visitors. Can the following questions be answered by scientific investigation? How much erosion is caused by use of the walking tracks? Yeah, how much erosion? Can you do it? Can you prove this? Yeah. So in order to do scientific inquiry, it can be tested. It can be tested. Yeah. Let's say this one. Is the park area as beautiful as it was 100 years ago? Can you test the beautiful? Sorry, can you test the beauty? I think you cannot test the beauty. But this thing you can test, yeah, how much erosion is caused by use of the walking tracks. So let's say if you have you do this investigation, what you change is there is concern. Let's look at this. There is concern about the damage that is being caused to the park by so many visitors. This is the clue. So many. So then you can test the erosion by having, let's say yeah, 5 visitors and 10 visitors. Then you see the effect. Okay, you will see the effect of people feet on the side. Yeah. Okay, this is an example of scientific inquiry. Okay, I show you another. Yeah. Okay, this one. Okay, I don't need to tell this experiment. Okay, but only just like this. So if you place the car here and then it will going down, it will go down and then it will stop because of the friction. And then you measure the distance between the lines. Yeah, I make it shorter. Yeah, yeah. Okay, then you write down. Yeah. Then if you change the stiffness, yeah, you change the stiffness, then you will get different result. This is a scientific inquiry. The thing that you change, that is independent variable. Yeah, the thing that you change is the independent variable. The dependent variable is the distance. Yeah, the distance of the car travel. Yeah, the distance. Yeah, if the distance is further, it means that the car is moving faster. Yeah, okay. Then I repeat, the independent variable is changing the stiffness. The dependent variable is the distance covered by the car. If you change the stiffness, of course, automatically the distance will also be changed, but this is not the independent variable because what you change is the stiffness of the ram. And the result of course is also changing. Yeah. And then what is the control variable? Things that you keep the same. What things that you keep the same? It should be the same car, okay? The same surface. Yeah, the same car and the same surface, and also the way you let the car go. If you push it and then you don't push it, that is a big difference. The way we treat the car is the control variable. Is that clear? Yeah, is that clear? Okay, I make it once again clear for this. And for this is, what is the independent variable? The number of visitors. What is the dependent variable? We observe the, let's say probably the hole, yeah, or what, yeah, the hole, yeah, made by the feet of the visitors. Let's say that's the erosion, yeah. And then what will be the control variable? The visitors need to be on the same side, they're exactly the same. Because if you have different texture of soil, of course, it will be, you will have different result. Yeah. So the control here variable is the same side. Yeah, the same side. That's an example of control variable. Okay. Then in this case, let's say if you have this, then if we do scientific inquiry, what is the difference? What do we change? We change the diameter of the tube. And what is that's the independent variable. What is the dependent variable? Is the rise of water in the tube. Yeah, this is the rise of the water in the tube. That is the dependent variable. And then what is the control variable? You should have the same liquid, of course. Yeah, you should have the same liquid. That's the control variable. Okay, that's my answer. Is that clear? Can you check it, Ms. Jingse? Okay, thank you. Okay, I go for thank you for the question. It's really interesting scientific inquiry, yeah. And I will tell you, I know a lot of resources, but I think OUP, Oxford University Press, is very consistent with scientific inquiry. That's why I'm very interested, yeah, with these resources, yeah. Okay. I think the resources is too rich, yeah. So make use of it. Okay, wait. Virology, mapping. Okay, now this is the starting point, yeah. Okay, this is the starting point. Okay, you see, so many ideas from the resources. You can start your lesson with any idea from the resources. It can be from the workbook, it can be from the student book, and it can be from the teacher's guide. You just choose it, but of course you have to learn. You have to grow to go through all the resources. Then you know it's very interesting to explore. I mean to develop your lesson, yeah. And then I got this idea, yeah. Actually, in the teacher's guide there is also idea, but as I want to show you, there can be many ideas. There can be many ideas. Absolutely. This is, I can start for the starting point. Salt and sugar have been used since ancient times to preserve food because of their hygroscopic nature. Okay, they absorb moisture, so bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms, blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. What want I to do with this this topic? I want to show you that this topic can be related to many topics, yeah, in grade 8. This is for grade 8. First one, yeah, how is salt related to the blood pressure? Pressure. So this is just from the expert tips. I can ask, how is salt related to the blood pressure? And then blood pressure is the topic of pressure, yeah, hydrostatic pressure. Then you can mention about hydrostatic pressure here, even though actually this chapter is about the additive substances, yeah, additive, yeah, sub-additive, yeah, yeah. But I show you mapping curriculum here. Wait, this is grade 8. Oh, sorry. Well, no, yeah. Wait. Mapping. Oh, sorry. There should be. Yeah, there should be another. I think 8. Yeah, 8 or 7. 8 or 7 KD, and it is about additive substance. It's chemistry, and also about the hydrostatic pressure. It's about pressure. Yeah. Okay. Then we can combine this, even though we cannot. I mean, we cannot cover the whole content, but you can mention it. You can mention in this chemistry part about the pressure, the hydrostatic pressure. And then how is sugar related to diabetes? Yeah. Then you see, this is simple but rich of information. Yeah. And then you can go further, ask them, what is hygroscopic nature mean? What does it mean? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. And then because they have already learned about bacteria in the previous lesson, or probably before, yeah, then you can connect it because they have already learned about bacteria. You can connect it with these things, with the salts and sugars. Yeah, it's also to make them remind, yeah, to remind them about the bacteria. Yeah, the bacteria. Okay. So it should be simple but rich of information. You can find many ideas. That's my point. Yeah, this is the starting point to explain about the additive substance. Yeah, to explain. Okay, then you can mention about the hydrostatic pressure and also the diabetes. Okay, and then we can go further with problems associated with food additives. Yeah, what are the problems? This is real. This is really real for them. They have problems with the food additives, and I think we use this every day. Yeah, food additives. Yeah, okay. Then you can put it here. Yeah, here. Okay, you can put it here, and you can add other food additive if you want. You can add them. Okay, here, yeah, here. Can you see this? Okay. Yeah. Problem associated with additives. Yeah. And then, okay, they can do this, yeah. This is exercise 3, yeah. But you can ask them, I think, in the beginning, that's fine. For me, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. That's why so many things to start with. And then also, because you have to develop your knowledge, then you can, let's say, read one journal. The effects of food additive information on consumer willingness to accept food with additives. Yeah, this is, you can read this journal. And then also, it's part of the lesson. How food additive information can shape the people's perception, the people's thinking about food with additives. Yeah, okay. And then you can ask them to find the preservatives in their food, list them. Yeah, because you have many in the can, yeah, can many things, yeah. You can list the preservative in the food. Food preservatives, yeah, preservative flavors and colorings. Okay, so because usually what is happening is they just take their food. I think if you take a survey, you can take a survey. Before asking this, you can take a survey from your class. How many of you read the ingredients in the food before you consume it? Or you just take it and you eat it, or you drink it. So it's a part to educate them, to know what they consume, yeah? So we make them informative, yeah? So you can ask, you can take the survey here, yeah? Before you ask them to do this, okay? And also, this is also physical activity for them, not only screen. Why? Because you can ask them now, find around you 2 or more food that you see and list the preservatives, the flavors and the colorants that you know in that food, and they write that down. Yeah, and then write that down. Of course, before they have to read about some preservative flavors and coloring. Yeah, okay. This is, you can do this synchronous online learning. Yeah, the preservatives in your food. They need to do something. Okay. Oh, actually, it's supposed to be this first. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, but we have two types of food additives. Yeah, once again, science is not about the content only. Science is about implementing what you know in your daily life. But yeah, it's hard for us. Yeah, we know healthy food, but we don't eat healthy food. That's our problem. Also my problem. Yeah, I know the healthy food, but it's hard for me to eat the healthy food. But if since they are young, we educate them, we train them to eat healthy food, then they will have that around their lifetime. Yeah, that's the part of teaching science to them. Yeah. Okay, this is the natural food additives. Yeah, it's natural. Yeah, see here. Yeah, it's natural. And then if you show this to them, so they make a tick. Yeah, whether they know or not. Yeah, cane sugar, honey palm sugar, or whether they like it or not. So only from this page, one page. Yeah, you can see one page. They can make a tick. Okay, I want you to. You can make a poll. How many of you like cane sugar? Blah 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 blah. Here, your question is, do you know these things, and how many of you like these things? Yeah, you can make that poll question. Okay, this is about natural food additives, and then this is about synthetic food additives. And then I'm very sure that not many of them know all these terms. Yeah, about synthetic food additives. Yeah, and then so you can ask them list after learning this, or they can read first before you explain it. Then you ask them, find the preservatives in your food. Or also the other things is that they can ask their mother or people who cook in their house, what preservative, nature preservative that you use in the food. Yeah, this one. So you can make them creative. Yeah, they can make an interview with their mother or with people that help them with cooking. So many ideas. And then now here you say, we look here. Yeah, this is the balanced diets. This is actually different separated chapter, but we can combine it because it's about balanced diet. Yeah, let me show you the food substance. Okay, like this. Food substances which are needed only in tiny amounts to keep us healthy. Yeah, food substances. Yeah, what are the food substances? So you can combine this is in the, I mean, in the first chapter, and this is actually, I forget the chapter, but you can combine it. This is the effects, right? And then you can develop the questions here, the relevant questions related with their daily life. So then science is really meaningful for them. It's helpful for them. And eventually they can educate others about healthy food. Actually, that's learning science to solve the problems. Yeah. Okay. You see here, saccharin, blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. You can they can see here, and the side effects. Yeah, of consuming too much of this food additives. Yeah. So this is the way you can combine it. Yeah. Okay. So once again, two curricula are not separated. They complement each other. So I think it's very interesting to mix this, because what? It's very useful for the students. It's informative for the students. They need to know this. Yeah. Okay. I think you will love doing this. Yeah. Combining all these things, all this stuff in your lesson. Okay. And then another is you can show them some videos about what is food additives. Yeah, you can also show in your synchronous online learning, or also in their asynchronous learning. Yeah, you can show them this. Once again, when you go to the, I mean, to the video, you have to check it one by one. Don't just put it. You have to learn the video, and then you show it to the students. You have to make sure that the video is right in the concept. Yeah. Okay. But usually we have some what you say, yeah, some link that is reliable. Yeah, you can trust the link. Like this is BBC. Of course, if BBC, you can trust it. You can trust the source. Yeah, if BBC. So look at the source also. But it might be also good sources, even though they are not famous. It might be so. So that's why if you are active to search the videos, then you can have many sources. Yeah, you can compare the sources, the resources. Okay, this is for UNC Health. This is also good. My drink has how much sugar? This is good. This is all good. Yeah, this is very good also. And only 2 minutes 48 seconds. Okay. And then this is from Harvard Health Publishing. Even though this is from Harvard, but this is, but I mean, we can understand it. It's for public, yeah? So from Harvard, it's for public. 1 cup soda, 8 teaspoon added sugar. So I forget, I think since 2011 or 12, I stopped consuming soft drinks because my friend told me and showed me the video. He had shown me the video that actually some drinks has a lot of sugar. Then since that time, I stopped consuming it. Yeah, sometimes I drink, but very little because I know it's not good for health. Yeah, my friend told me first in 2012. Okay. Then this is the last part. Then after talking about additive substances, about the food, then we can go to the digestive system and digestion enzymes. Okay. And then also it will be very good if you connect, yeah, if you connect the effects of consuming this to the human organ, yeah, to the human organ. Like this is brain damage, yeah, but you can also, this is a chest pain and so on, yeah. And okay, you can connect it to the try to find substances that connect to the digestive system. Probably this is hard, this is not good, this is too acid, and so on. Okay, then these two can go together. Yeah, these two, the digestive system and digestion and enzymes can go together. So this is the way you compress all the materials so you can cover. But once again, the point is it should be meaningful. And once again, students learn science means they think scientifically and they can do scientifically. That's the purpose of learning science. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I think finish. Yeah. Yeah. 4 minutes too early. No. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think too much time. Yeah, bro. So.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Mariana. Okay. So can we just look at the question? So basically, you will have another question.
Should I stop share? Do I need to stop share so I can look at the chat box? Because
yes, you can.
Oh no, yes, I can hear. Yeah.
Okay. So usually if we combine the material, the time is not enough to explain everything. And the students become confused of too many material they need to absorb. What do you think?
Okay, that's why first we need to have the priority. For me, the priority now is during the pandemic, because as I heard, it doesn't need to cover all the KD, 11 KD, yeah, in 1 year, yeah. So for me, what's important is for their daily life. That's the point. Yeah, that's the point. And that's why the way we arrange it should be connected to each other. So it's not just about the information. It's about the way they think. Yeah, it's not just put all the information, but it's about the way they think. Yeah, the way they think. And you don't need to explain anything to them, yeah, because they have actually much time to learn by themselves. Yeah, so you really see the main concepts, yeah, the main concepts, yeah, which one that you want to explain it. And for me, let's say for classification of living things, I think for me, the characteristics of animals or the plants, I think for me it doesn't need to go so deep, yeah, for me, yeah, because that's just knowledge, yeah. But understanding about how microorganisms work, how bacteria work and virus work, I think that's important. Yeah, that's important. Yeah, that's my point. And so that's why, yes, I agree. Students can become confused of too many material they need to absorb. So you know your students really well. Yeah, how many concepts? It depends on your students. Yeah, how many concepts you need to cover depends really on the student. That's my point. But make the lesson rich. Yeah, make them curious, so they want to learn. My expectation for my students is in this semester that they want to study physics. You know what? I want to share you something, because the lesson was so interesting for them. They can hardly wait to wait. They can hardly wait for another lesson next week. And then you know what? In the WA group WA, in WA group, they said, what will be our reading test? That is because they were very interesting to study. That's my point. So if you want to know further, let's say you have how do I combine this material and this material, and this is the situation of my students, you can contact me. You can contact me by email. Then I will be very glad to help you to combine all these things. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Mariana. I think that's about it in terms of questions. Okay, so I understand that some of you have been asking where are some of these question banks as well as presentations. So I think what I'll do is I'll just share with some of you here what are the resources available. So if you are using the amazing science student book that we have, at the back of the book you will see a website link. So go to the link and you will be able to see these resources, which I'm going to share with you right now. Just give me a few minutes. I'm going to share screen. Okay, so you will see my screen right now. So basically this is the URL that we have. So the moment you actually go into the URL, you will see all these resources. Okay, so assuming you are a secondary school teacher, in my case, you will need to create an account and log in. So I've already created my account. So this is my account. And these are all the resources available. So for secondary, I have grade 7, grade 8, and grade 9. So grade 7. So grade 7, these are resources for amazing science. So these resources are, we have tailored it specifically for teachers. So, so for example, I click onto it. So because I have registered for these resources, these are all the resources available. So you will see that there are some there's a scheme of work here. There are practical worksheet, there are PowerPoint presentations. So a number of the materials which Ms. Mariana presented actually comes from these resources. So these are the printable worksheets where you can actually, if you're conducting online classes, you can send them to your students and your students are able to use them. All right, so I will click on an example of a scheme of work. Okay, so then you will see that these are all the resources available. So you can choose to download them all, but for today, I will just give you some examples of what resources available. So what you are seeing now is I'm downloading these resources. So I'm downloading the scheme of work. There's also the RPP available as well. So I understand that for many of you, RPP is actually something that you look forward to. So do check out these resources. Okay, so I'm going to open up a few and I'll just run through very quickly with you, yeah? Just hold on, it's currently downloading on my end. Okay, so while I'm waiting for it to be downloaded, I would perhaps like to share with you the upcoming training that we have. So basically our next session is actually, we've been hearing some of your feedback. So I think last week we had another session with our primary teachers, and they were asking whether if the sessions can be more interactive. So we are taking your feedback. So we have actually made some changes to the upcoming session. So the upcoming sessions will not be in a webinar format, will be in a meeting format whereby you will be able to see the other participants as well. So you will be able to see them, you'll be able to interact. So the next coming sessions will be a lot more exciting, whereby we will have in the session as well, Dr. Dicky Susanto, who is a very reputable speaker and trainer also from Indonesia, where he specializes in primary and secondary math. So he has been working with the MOE in the Indonesia to discuss about the current COVID situation and what are the strategies the government is taking to ensure that what are some of the syllabuses to cover. So he has been working in the core committee of that. At the same time, I think he has also been very involved with the curriculum changes in the Indonesian syllabus as well. So in that next session, so it will be a lot more exciting, whereby it will be a meeting rather than a webinar, whereby you will be able to see everyone else. You will also have breakout sessions where you will be able to interact with your other teachers, colleagues in Indonesia. So I think do block a calendar. So we also understand that some of you find Saturdays to be a lot more better in terms of timing. So that will be Saturday. So then there's the online teaching strategies 2 that will happen on the following Saturday. So these are tips and what are some of the tools that you can use to as you teach the students online. Okay, I'll go back to my earlier screen. So I'll just share an example of a worksheet. Okay, so this is an example of a homework worksheet for microorganisms. So if you are teaching microorganisms, so these are some worksheets that you will find in the resources where in the online resources where you can just download it. These can actually be shared with your students in their Google Classroom, for example, and you want them to be able to put in their answers, you are able to do this. So there is ample of resources. Zoom doesn't allow me to show you what you can see actually on all the resources available. What you're seeing is only individual files. But if I wish you are able to see my screen right now, whereby I have ample of resources to choose from, and then for me to open them. Just hold on a minute. So there are still a lot more resources which I think I would like to share, but I think time is running out. So so basically there are also the RPP, there are also all the other materials. So what I encourage each one of you is to go and log into the website to register. In fact, it's free resources, and it is readily available for you to share with the students and your other colleagues who are also teaching science as well. So I guess that's about it today. Ms. Marianna, would you have anything else to add before we end today's session? You're muted. Yeah.
Thank you. Just thank you. Thank you for all the teachers. Yeah,
Okay, thank you very much. Yes. Okay. So I will hope to see you again on the next session on the online training session. Okay, bye everyone.